Now, if you were to ask me, if I were to pick between the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes C-Class, and this one right here, the Genesis G70, I'm gonna go with the Genesis, because to me, this is such a unique vehicle and such a fantastic driving experience, specifically with the 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6 under the hood. So what we're gonna do in this video, of course, the G70 is getting killed off for 2026. 2025 is going to be the last generation for this, and I honestly don't know why, because the 3 Series is selling really well. C-Class is selling decently as well, and this just has this special, unique identity to it with the front end design. So we're going to look at this design, of course, front, side, rear, the interior, and then last but not least, we're going to take this for a drive. And I want to say thank you to Genesis of Littleton for providing this vehicle for me to review for you guys today. If you're interested in this one or any of these vehicles that we have in this entire inventory, go and check them out in the link down below. As always, before we talk about this beautiful design of the 2025 Genesis G70, let's see what we have under the hood. We have a 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6 putting out 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission. You can get it as either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I'm not honestly sure which one I would personally pick. It looks like a rear-wheel drive package to me, but all-wheel drive is probably better in the winter time. You got 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds for this one. Fuel economy, 20 city, 28 highway, and the base price for this is $52,300. I'm not sure exactly how much this specific one is, so let's go and check that out. It's $54,795 for this specific one. You can see the added features here, added options. The Kawa Blue being the big one, $650 for this stunning, beautiful blue design. And if I were to get this, I would probably get it in either red or this blue, because this blue to me just pops. It just makes it stand out, and it's always nice to see, you know, a special color on the roads these days, since everything else is, as you can see, good example right here. It's dark blue, marine blue, silver, marine blue, white, silver, gray, and all of these colors. And this one just stands out, pop, with the blue color that we have right here. Now, looking at the hood design, what I love about this is we still have the wake design from pretty much every single Genesis, how this logo comes down and creates these wake lines. And now that we have the blue ocean, it definitely looks like it's an ocean, and this is just surfing down here on the front end design. Now, this being the smaller sibling in the lineup, and as I've said before, 3 Series, C-Class, and the smaller sibling in the lineup, you can use more organic styling, you can use a little bit more curvatures and line, you know, it doesn't have to be so strict. Like if we were compare this, for example, to the G80, it becomes a little bit stricter when it comes to the line flow, the proportions, and then the G90, very horizontal, vertical, stately design. But this being the G70, we can have some more fun with the styling. You can see that in the roundedness, for example, in the headlight units. Beautiful design, and we have these angles now, for example, that's not available on the G80 or the G90 because it's a big brother. They are more tight, more strict in its design. Here we have a little bit more fun. You can see the organic lower section here. I do wish these were functional. I had some functional air curtains here. This is just, actually it is functional. We have a tiny air curtain right here on the side, but it's not open for any sort of cooling. That happens right here, and also of course in the middle of the grille with this dark chrome that we have going on. And you have the radar integrated right here in the middle with the Genesis logo. And overall, the organic vibe that I get from this just suits this design very beautifully, and I think it's one of the best looking sedans, sports sedans in this segment. Now, coming around to the side view, and the thing about these wheels, I was expecting these to be 21s, 20s or something like that, because they fill out the wheelhouses in a very nice way, but these are actually 19s. 225s in the front end. I do believe we have 255s. So we have a stagger setup, 255s in the rear, 225s in the front end. Beautiful design. I love that we don't have just black wheels on every single vehicle that comes out today. This is what I want to see. I've said it so many times before. This gunmetal with some silver inlays in the wheel design, absolutely perfect. In addition to the blue exterior and the red calipers. I mean, the spec on this with the dark out chrome, pieces around the greenhouse. The spec on this is probably one of my favorite specs for the G70 for 2025. It just looks stunning. We have the nice line flow here at the bottom as well. You can see how this line goes from the lower section, cuts in and has a connection to what's going on in the rear bumper. And in addition to that, we also have this stunning shoulder line from the, not the corner of the taillight, almost the corner, going through here, cutting through the entire body, through the front fender, and then has, if we were to extend this line right here, you can see that it would go into the corner of the headlight right there. Absolutely beautiful proportions of this vehicle. It has clear 3-box design, but at the same time, almost a little bit Italian, almost a little bit Alfa Romeo Giulia. I'm not sure if you can see it. I can definitely see it with all the organic shapes that we have going on here in the line flow. We also have some functional piece right here. This is actually open. Glad to see that this is not just some plastic piece that doesn't have any function. We have the painted caps for the mirrors, the indicators LED here, black, dark chrome. We don't have the 2-line indicator in this case right here. Instead, it's integrated in a more traditional way these days in the side mirror right there, which is totally fine. Looking up top, we have a full panel sunroof right here, blacked out. We have this portion being blue. This panel right here. This is a panel that I want to see black and have everything, the entire roof be blacked out. It would just make for a nice continuous line instead of having this rectangle of blue that we have up top. But not a lot of people are gonna look up on the top anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Now, even though I do absolutely love the front end of this vehicle, for me it's just Genesis and rear ends. It's just something special with the ellipse that we have going on right here, that we have in every single Genesis these days. In the G80, the G90, all of them has some sort of ellipse that houses the key graphics. And these taillights, how they sit inside, follow the bodywork of the metal here, is just a stunning looking design. And this looks so tasty, these taillights. I'm not sure what better way to explain it, but I love what's going on here. And in addition to that, Genesis doing these nail spoilers like nobody's business these days. Look how nicely this swings upwards, just a subtle upswing right here, going down to a very nice and tight chamfer. Big chamfer here spells out Genesis, a G70. And here you have the 4-wheel drive, in this case, 3.3 liter twin turbo. All the way down low, we have the oval exhaust pipes, as you can see, in addition to the reverse lights being integrated all the way down here. No fake exhaust pipes. You can see they're functional right there, and they are also functional right there. So Genesis is not messing around with anything fake here. Everything is properly functional, and I love to see that for the Genesis. Now, if you were in the market for a sporty, I guess this is called a small size sedan, sporty sedan. If you have the 3 Series, let's say you have the C-Class, Volvo S60, unfortunately also discontinued now here in the United States. This being the last model year for the G70, which is a shame because look at it, it's a beautiful piece of art. But which one would you buy out of those 4? The S60, C-Class, 3 Series, and the G70. For me, it would definitely be between the S60. I love that vehicle, and this one for sure, because they're so unique, both of them. With that said, let's jump in and have a look at what's going on with this beautiful interior, because thankfully, as you can see right in this area, we have a nice housing for the gauge cluster.
In case you missed it, my 11-hour online class in design sketching is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as a big pen and cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Over the years, I've taught thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com.
All right, so the first thing you're gonna notice, at least the first thing I noticed when I jump into a G70, even for 2025, is that we still thankfully have a deep look at the cave that we have for the gauge cluster, and how deep down it sits inside there, housed, cozy inside of the dash, exactly like I want to see. The trim pieces for the door panel, we have soft touch material up here, quality feel for the door handle, and you have the memory seat settings right there. And these metal pieces, it's just, Genesis just does it in a different level. The feel for these buttons and the materials just has a different feel for them, at least in my opinion. I don't know what it is. They feel like a much more upscale vehicle brand that they actually are. We have Genesis. When we're stepping in here, the seat designs looks great. The design of the seat looks fantastic. Probably not the spec that I would choose personally, with the light sort of cream color that we have going on here. But with that said, let's jump in, have a look at this 2025 G70. And what is almost shocking to me, that if you look at what's going on in the gauge cluster right here, now this is something you just don't see today, specifically not in luxury brands like Genesis. But check this out. We have an analog speedometer. How refreshing is that to see? And to me, this actually feels more luxurious than if we were to have this big 27-inch screen that we have in the GV80 now, and I do believe the G80 as well. The G90 has a little bit of a better integration, but this feels like more high quality, more upscale, more luxurious, because we have these all analog details in here, physical pieces of the gauge cluster, and that is exactly what I want to see. There's really nothing to it. Now this, you can change the center portion of the screen right here. You can see we can go through a bunch of different settings. If we scroll down here, the tire pressure, for example, engine temp, the oil temp, and all of these settings. I like to keep it on something simple, maybe just have the, let's see, we can have the driving assist settings right there. Now this is the gauge tachometer right there. Let's put it into, let's see, we're in Sport Plus, and let's see what this sounds like. It sounds really angry in Sport Plus, and that is of course what you want in a car like this. You have a 10.25-inch infotainment screen. Do I need a bigger screen than this? Absolutely not. This is all I want. You have the old Genesis system here, and this is of course because they're discontinuing the G70, so they didn't really bother to update this to the latest system. But it doesn't matter to me, because I don't care. I don't need the latest of every single tech when it comes to car, specifically car interiors. This is as much technology as I would personally want myself. All the way down here, you do have the controls for the climate settings, heated and ventilated seats. Let's turn on the ventilated seats a little bit. You can figure out where you want the air to come out from right here, and you have the heated steering wheel as well. Fan speed up and down, very easy to navigate through this. And thankfully we do have the dial right here for the temperature. Start button right here. Very simple looking vents. I don't need anything crazy, like I need to go into the infotainment screen to just change the vents. This is totally fine for me. All these beautiful physical buttons here for the radio as well, looking beautiful. All the way down here we have a 12-volt cigarette outlet, a USB, a regular, not a USB-C, just a regular USB port, charging pad for your phone, and we have this beautiful integration of the gear selector. So putting it into reverse is going to pop up the reverse camera. You don't have a 360 camera in this case, but you do have trajectory lines and parking sensors all around the vehicle, as you can see. Not the best looking camera, I have to say. It's very grainy, but again, I don't care. Am I gonna miss a GV80 right behind me? No, because you can clearly see it right there. That is all I need this camera for. It's not a 4K cinematic experience. So putting it back into park right here, we have the drive modes. Let's turn this straight so you can see the drive modes here. We have a bunch of them. We have Sport, Custom, Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort, and Eco. I'm gonna try both Comfort and Sport Plus when we take this for a drive. And the cool thing is, when you go into Sport Plus, you can actually feel the side bolstering tightening up around you, just to hug you in place when you're taking the corners, because it feels like, okay, it's putting it in Sport Plus, probably gonna do some sporty driving here, so let's tighten the bolstering up a little bit for him. Love to see that. You have traction control on and off, parking sensors on and off, camera button, again, it's just gonna pop up the rear camera right there, parking brake, and 2 cup holders right here. This is what the key looks like for 2025. I like the design with these patterns on here. You have lock, unlock, hold to open the trunk, panic button, and you have the remote start button right there as well. Opening up the armrest, we do have a USB-C right there. So you do have one USB-C and one regular USB. Perfect. I don't need anything else than that. This is pretty harsh or firm. I would like to have this be a little softer than what it is right here, but again, totally fine. We can adjust the seat from this by these buttons right here, which is great. If you're in the back seat and you want more space, the front passenger is not listening to you, you can manually do that yourself with these buttons right there. Beautifully done. Heated ventilated seats, a lot of bolstering on the sides. Personally, I would not choose this color, but that's just a matter of taste, obviously. I do like the design of the door panel. Look at the flow that we have going on right there. Now, looking at the steering wheel feels maybe a little dated if you compare it to other Genesis products, but I just don't care because this is totally fine for me. 3-spoke design, very small steering wheel, sporty steering wheel, the paddles for the 8-speed as well. You have the controls to customize the gauge cluster and the cruise control settings right here, and the voice command volume settings and stuff like that on the right side. I do like the design with the bright stitching on the inside. And all the way up top, we do have a standard size sunroof, something that I don't really care about. I would probably not want to have the sunroof at all if it was up to me. But I would say that this is my driving position. So with that said, we are in park. So let's jump in, check out the back seat. Keep in mind that this is the smallest sedan that Genesis makes, and I'm 6'1", 6'2". So let's see if we have proper headspace, leg space back here. As you can see, it starts to look maybe a little tight back here. Door panel looks great. A little bit nervous to jump in here. We have Genesis. So let's see if I can fit back here. You know what? I have a feeling this is just gonna be totally fine. I mean, I'm not complaining. I have a decent amount of leg space. I do like these card out portion in the front of the seat. We have a pocket down here. We have the same pocket down here. Headroom is actually really good. I have no problems at all back here, and I would not mind sitting back here for a longer road trip. I would not complain one bit. I think it's fine. You have the vents right there and 2 USB-Cs. So you have 1 USB-C in the front end, 2 USBs in the back, and if we fold down the center armrest, of course, we are going to find ourselves 2 cup holders, but no storage right here in the middle like we have on the bigger models. With that said, let's take this G70 for a drive for the final model year, and let's see what this is all about. You know what time it is. It's time to take the 2025 final model year G70 3.3 liter twin turbo V6, 365 horsepower, 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds. Let's take it for a drive. Let's do our environment a bit of a service and just show this car off, what they're going to be missing next year. We are in Sport Plus right now, which again tightens up the, I love that it tightens up the seats. It just, without me doing anything, it just does it automatically. It's kind of a cool little thing that it does. And when you're in comfort, it lets off. It lets you breathe a little bit better. Let's forward here. Let's go. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Listen to that noise. What a great V6 noise this one has. Sounds absolutely fantastic. Let's go for this before we get a red light. Now this is what I love about Genesis. It does everything so well. Let me adjust this camera so you can actually see what's going on here. It does everything so well. It does the exterior design fantastically. The interior design, I don't want them to update this interior to a 27-inch screen. I want to keep it like this forever. Let's just keep it like this forever. Analog clusters, no crazy pixels all over the place. This is so much better. Beautiful Audi S4 Avant there as well. An old B4, B5. Brakes are great too. Let's put it into manual mode. Let's see if we can do that manually here. Coming in. Oh man, what a fun car this is to drive. It's so engaging, and this is, again, when I know that I'm sitting in a beautiful car like this, it becomes even more special than if it were, you know, an unattractive vehicle and was this fun to drive. This one just does everything so well. I mean, The integration of the screens here, we have the old infotainment system. I don't care. People might call this outdated. Same thing that when you look at Mazdas, for example, these days. I think I'm gonna make a video on that on the second channel, because it bothers me so much when I see what Mazda is doing with their new interiors. It's just a shame that they're going away from this old school, I guess, interior. And similarly here for the G70 for 2025, this is a great 2025 model year for me, because it still has the old vibe that I am looking for when it comes to the power delivery, when it comes to the interior. I mean, listen to that noise. And I don't feel like I need more power. 375 horsepower is absolutely perfect for me. I don't need 450 horsepower in this. This is a sweet spot that it's, when you're stepping on it, you're not scared of using all the power that this vehicle has. And we also have all-wheel drive, of course, which helps with the traction. But I don't know, man. For me, between this and the other competition, let's forward one more time. I'm gonna be quiet. Oh yeah, this thing goes. It goes. As I was saying, between this and the competition, the only vehicle that I would consider, I think that is maybe $15,000 more expensive than this though. That would be the Volvo S60 T8 Polestar engineered with the plug-in hybrid. I had the V60 Polestar engineer for a week. Floored me. I fell in love with it. I mean, what a car. The design, the wagon proportions that we don't rarely see, specifically here in the States. I mean, the performance, 455 horsepower in that one. Great vehicle, but it is more expensive than this. So if I were looking for a sedan, I honestly think I would go with this, a 2025 Genesis G70, before they kill it off. And thankfully, because it's getting killed off, they didn't bother updating the infotainment screen that, like we have here, like we have in the rest of the lineup. This is the infotainment screen and the gauge cluster that I want, and this is probably the one I would buy. So I put it in comfort now, just to relax a little bit. Genesis is not always about pushing it to the red line, okay? That's not what Genesis is about. Genesis is, if you want to, you can do that. If you find yourself up in the twisties, up in the mountains, you can put it in the Sport Plaza and have some fun with it. But for me, Genesis is more of these long cruisers in comfort and style and elegance. So I put it into comfort. Everything quiets down a little bit. The seat feels a little less bolstered, totally fine. And now we're just cruising along here, and I could cruise in this car forever until we run out of gas in 240 miles. Unfortunately, that would take all day, and I would have to bring the car back at some point to Genesis. But I want to say thank you to Genesis of Littleton here for providing this vehicle for me to review for you guys today. And I want to hear your opinion. Do you think it's a mistake that Genesis is killing off the G70? I definitely think so. Because the 3 Series is still selling well here. Yes, it is a sedan, but it's still selling well in the States. And I wish they could just market this car a little bit better, because it's such a fantastic vehicle that I would want to see them continue building this. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So thanks again to Genesis of Littleton here. If you're interested in this or any other vehicle they have in their lineup right here, go and check them out. I'm going to link them down in the description. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.